Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and we are on the Dino a Day review series. Now, if you don't already know what the Velonasaur is, well, kind of shame on you, but not really if you've never played Extinction or been given one. It's kind of hard to know what they're good at, what they do. Even some people still don't really understand their full potential. So this is a Velonasaur. Now, if you haven't figured it out already, they are turrets of death and justice. They can just absolutely shred pretty much anything they want to. You can see this right here. They've got pretty good attacks in general. This is an unleveled wild one at level 150. So it is pretty good compared to what's around me. But let's go ahead and talk about what they're good at and one special purpose that a lot of people forget about and just makes these things incredible. So, stats. There are some interesting stats. Now, two things. If you want to have these just as turrets where you're not riding them, only raise their health and stamina. This is because melee damage when they're not being ridden does not matter. Now that's really important. Now if you're planning on riding this and using it, they are very useful. I like to have my stamina around 4k, health around 10k, give or take, and then I usually crank the rest into melee damage. Now it is really easy to get melee on these things out of control, especially on official servers where some of these things are well above 1000%. So this isn't even the greatest one you can come up with. They just happen, to exist in this area. So anyways, they're usually found in the desert biome. They are good at a bunch of different things. Now let me go ahead and show you what I mean by that. Now first off, they are a great companion. Anything like that's this size will come after you normally when you're just on foot, but the Velonasaur can pretty much easily shred all of it. Just by using its left click attack, it does a ton of raw damage, so anything that's up close to you will get shredded. If you are at a distance of things, you can easily just absolutely smoke something. See that? 179 per shot, and they're doing like, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 a second. So that means like 1,000 damage a second-ish. That's crazy. So the amount of damage these guys can absolutely do is just bonkers. Saddles do pretty heavily nerf the damage output of them, but they are still really overpowered in regards to how much damage they can do. Because obviously if you get a couple of these things, they are just shredders of worlds, and that's really nice to obviously have access to, just like you see here. So, now what else is important about the Velonasaur? You can see that it can jump, it has that primary attack, it can do a long range attack. It is amazing for the purpose of pretty much anything, even starter, endgame. They have a use everywhere, because when you build your giant death walls endgame, the more Velonasaurs you have that can shoot back, the more defense you have. Now, the reason I say this, Velonasaurs do not count against the turret limit. So, they are literally they basically do about as much damage as an auto turret, give or take. So they're like free auto turrets that kind of just sit there at wherever you want them, that never run out of ammo, and they just sit and shred things. So endgame, they are one of the greatest tames in the game. Having high health and stamina means they're really hard to take out, with a good saddle too. They are great, I guess, how do I say this properly? If you have a bunch of them, you can bring 20, 30 of them and uncryo them. And then when you do uncryo them, what you're going to do is you're going to just put a good saddle on them and whistle them to aggressive and enable their special attack. And there's not much in the game that can stand up to them, because they will deal so much damage. Lots of benefit to that. They are a great early game kind of starting tame, because they kill pretty much anything that you need them to from a distance, so you don't even have to take damage. So there's not really a risk of that. They gather pretty good meat. Nothing great, but if you're just a small player doing a couple of things, this is a great way to go about just a starter tame or just having a small base. You don't really need a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a Giganotosaurus if you're only one or two people. I mean, first off, they're very difficult to raise, whereas these get raised in like 2 days, 3 days maybe. So overall, they are great tames to have access to. They are really good at a couple of things, and let me show you one amazing thing that these guys have the ability to do. Now, if you are on Ragnarok, or if you go to Ragnarok, obviously you see that I'm in the Scorched Island zone right now. I'll go ahead and speed my way up to the next zone. If you've never heard of Lava Golem, or if you've never done Lava Golem before, you literally only need a single Velonasaur. Now, a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but I'm going to show you how easy it really is. Basically, all you've got to do is get up to the blue zone, right next to the blue obelisk. You are going to go ahead and find said blue obelisk, and it'll help you if you actually know what you're talking about here. So spawning right over near where this Colosseum looking thing is very helpful to a lot of people. You're going to go ahead and go up here through the woods, kind of, if you want to call it that, whatever you want to say. And then once you get up into this region up above the woods, you will actually run into a cave. Now, this cave is very dark, so one of the best things you can do is Gamma 5 it. I'm going to skip the entire thing. If you haven't seen my video how to run this, it's pretty easy. But basically, if you go through this cave, you'll see bosses available. Now, when you go through this cave, you just have to go fight the boss, and all you need is a Velonasaur. And then if you don't want anything else, you can just use the Velonasaur in a grappling hook. You probably could run past everything in here if you really wanted to. Usually there's Arthropleura, spiders, all kinds of stuff. But nothing that's like unbeatable, if that makes sense. So you just go through this cave, and at the bottom of it, there's a lava golem. Now the lava golem, you just stay up high. He can't hit you with your Velonasaur if you're doing it right, and he just gets absolutely shredded by you. Obviously you can see me. I know I'm going really fast through this, so I am sorry about that, but it's really quite nice. So now it's a hidden little entrance. A lot of people don't know about this, or at least still don't know about this. It's a great way to get end game stuff. Very useful. I'll go ahead and pick my way into this so you can see. So basically you just got to get past these crystals. It'll expose a little open pathway. In this open pathway, gosh, Gamma 5 is so ugly for this game. You will see that there's a little more crystal over here. You got to break it down. I would bring a grappling hook if I was you, and I'll show you why in a second here. Let me through, please. Thank you. All right, so basically what you're going to do, teach is disturbing. Yes, 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 whatever. Let's go ahead and get the grappling. Oh, wow, I can't spell right now at all. Grapple? There it is. Crossbow, and I'll show you exactly how to do this, but this is like one of the easiest things and why Velonasaurs are so important. Alright, calculating number of people. Notice how it's just, you know, the golem awakens. He'll stand up out of the water here. He's right here. You can see him. There he is. This is the lava golem. Now, that rock, don't get hit by it. It hurts a lot, but once he's kind of hanging around in there, aim up at the wall up there and pull yourself up, just like this. Now, he won't be able to actually hit you very well up here. And when you're up here, you just clean out these crystals and you use your Velonasaur that you have. And this guy can't swing at you. He can't really do anything. And he'll just get shredded by you. Now you can see he's kind of like looking at me awkwardly like, what are you doing up there? Hello. So he went down into his little state where he doesn't do anything, and you can just shred him. So he will pick up his rock and start throwing it at me. Sometimes he gets a good shot off and will hit you, but for the most part you don't really have to worry about that. Now just one Velonasaur is all you need for this, and you just sit here and smoke it. Now this is what I was talking about when I say that you need to level up stamina. You can see that my stamina goes down pretty quick when I'm going after this lava golem, so you want to be very careful about that. But really you only need one person to do this. So now it's easier to bring 2 or 3 just in case, like let's say you're on a heavy PvP map and someone is trying to attack you. Having 2 or 3 Velonasaurs and 2 or 3 people versus 1 is always a good idea. So as you can see, there he is. He's gone. Nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary. He will spawn a couple of loot crates, and you'll get, this is like 1 time the lowest possible level loot, by the way, so like whatever you're seeing will be exponentially higher on official servers. And you just get a bunch of free stuff. I think there's 4. Yeah, there's the 4th one. So you get 4 of those, and right off the bat, let's just see what I got. It's an Eku saddle, fabricated pistol, manta saddle, and then on his body himself, he will have a whole bunch of loot. You can see that right there, and that's a bunch of free stuff. And again, all you need is a single Velonasaur. Now, in order to get down here, you're probably going to want to bring like a shotgun. That's the easiest way to get past all this stuff. But again, the Velonasaur gives you easy access to free loot. You cannot complain about free loot. You can't really get up into this section. I've tried before. This is the easiest way to do it, just being on top of that. You can technically do it from over here on this side. I don't like to. It's not my personal favorite, so take that for what you will. Alright, so anyways, hopefully this video helps you out, and hopefully you start using the Velonasaur if you haven't done so already. Alright, teach out.